Alrighty, guys, welcome to episode number 4.
Welcome.
So let's do our catch up, and then we have a really amazing topic that you guys can kind of tell by the title. But how's your week?
It was really, really good. Getting a lot more nervous now that my test is coming up. But so my test is next week, and yeah, I didn't do that well on that mock exam, so I'll get it done.
It's okay.
How well, one thing about you from last episode, you're here.
I know. She's a copperhead, guys. I feel like for me, it was a pretty busy week. I had so many things going on. I mean, you mainly worked, right?
Yeah.
That's
all I did,
yeah. So I have copper hair now, and I did my first class.
Yep.
I know.
How do you feel about that?
I feel like it went really good.
Yeah.
I know. It's a lot more better than I expected, to be honest. I was a little too not too nervous. I wouldn't say nervous, but I think I was just overthinking it.
Yeah, it tends to happen.
Yeah, because I'm such a perfectionist that I wanted to be perfect. So sometimes that's how you learn.
You know, that's why that was like one of the reasons I didn't want to do the podcast either. Because I know myself and I know I'm a perfectionist and I want everything to be
perfect,
the best. Yeah. And I knew that it was going to take me like a long time to edit it and, just actually getting comfortable with where we're putting out there. But
right,
later on, I'm just like, yeah, we're not professionals. So I don't really care.
Right. It's okay. And then we're learning. So
right.
It's all right. I'm trying to think what else we did this week. Today I was pretty busy.
Yeah, I don't know where either.
Yeah.
Like it was just random that you got really busy.
Yeah. It was my niece's birthday today. Well, we're filming on a Monday. It was my niece's birthday, and then I went to go pick up my dad at the airport. So I literally was rushing the whole entire day.
Yeah.
Until right now that I'm actually chill. So.
I know. And we have a couple hours before I need to get back to work for a little bit, but just for a little bit.
Do you know how long you're going to be working for?
Probably like an hour or so.
Damn, I'll be sleeping.
Yep. But
so yeah, I mean, you don't want to add anything else to our catch up before we get to our topic?
No, I think that was pretty much it. I didn't have a lot going on. So it's pretty busy at work right now. So I don't just getting ready for the exam and getting work done. And one of the things that I liked about your class, well, the day before on Saturday is when I took that FIG exam.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when I was pretty down. And then for your class, there's one question that you ask your guest, what's like an information that you need to hear today.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I'll write down my information just so it makes me feel better. Yeah. And my information was just like, I already forgot it. You got what it takes to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you do.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It's kind of funny how the time worked with my class and then you being able to go.
I know, yeah.
We
had mentioned it. Yeah, we had mentioned it before on the last podcast that maybe I was not going to be able to make it just because of work.
Mm-hmm.
But thankfully I was able to make it, and it was just something that I needed to hear because I was feeling like shit on Saturday. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And the class was mastering organization to stay motivated. So I feel like the motivational part helped you.
Yeah.
Get back to.
It's weird because when I started the journey earlier this year, I was really, really motivated.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took that exam, passed it. I took the other exam, passed it. And then when I started studying for this, we went like on a vacation, and then, I took some time off and did all this. And I came back and I feel like I haven't gone back to, or I haven't found that motivation that I had earlier in the year.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why that is, but I think it started happening since the second one, which was audit. And I kept telling like, oh, it's really hard for me to, like stay focused, and this is just not what like this is not interesting at all to me and stuff like that.
Right.
And this one that I'm taking is actually like what I do for a living, which is tax. But there's just a section that's just business law, and it's just really annoying. But yeah, we'll see what
You got this.
yeah, and then hopefully I pass it. So then I just have one more,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm done. So the goal is to finish it before the year.
Yeah.
Which we send out the invitations already for your
Yeah.
party. So that's a big motivator for me.
Yes. I mean, either way, remember, if you don't, which you will pass, but if you don't, it's okay. It's just a test. It doesn't define you.
Yeah, and that's what I was or that's what I'm really scared of, or have been really scared of, just like failing. um I guess that's why, and I talked to you about it, how when I got out of high school, or not high school, out of college, I had the chance to actually take it and everything, but I never went through with it because I was always so afraid of failing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I have ever failed anything in my life before.
Yeah. But
So
I mean, I feel like
there will
that
always
helps.
be like a first time.
Yeah. I feel like that definitely does help. Do you remember when I was working at the salon and I was gonna get on the floor and I failed to do the single process?
Oh, that's right. That you took a longer time than.
Yes. And that was such like a shitty feeling for me, guys. Because I was not just representing myself, but I was representing what I felt pressure, the salon, that location. They were doing a new educational program with me. So I went with one of the directors, the educational directors, to be a colorist. And I went and had my model and everything, and I failed. And I knew I had failed as soon as I was done with my model. Like I knew it. And then when I sat down with her, she told me, she's like, yeah, well, you didn't pass. You took too long. But it's okay. You'll get there. And I remember, like, for me, I felt like such a fail. I was like, this was so easy. Why did I fail? And I remember that I was literally crying. I would FaceTime,
Yeah.
I FaceTime you on my way home and I was crying because I was so disappointed in myself. I was like so mad at that. And then I was also embarrassed that like on my way, because I had to text also my manager and let her know like, hey, I didn't pass. And even though like people would tell me like, you're gonna pass. So I feel like that's why whenever somebody's gonna take a test and I say you're gonna pass, like I don't really like to say that. Like,
it does put a lot of pressure.
It does.
On whoever is taking the test. My VP on the last exam that I took, she sent out a text to the whole like tax department, just wishing me luck. I was like, oh, no pressure at all, because but yeah, I mean, I still got it done, but it does put a lot of pressure. It's just, for me, I'm doing it for my family and for everyone who has always believed in me, because even my professors would always tell me, you should take it because you're gonna pass it pretty easy. So that's what I'm afraid of just like getting that feeling of, oh, I'm such a failure, because I've gotten not that I'm a failure, but when I come out of the exams, I always call you. I always like FaceTime you, and the past 2 times I have told you like, yeah, I feel like shit. Like this is not. I didn't do well, and everything, but it's just, I cannot imagine what it would be like to like. Well, I mean, it's just normal. I mean, 50% of the people who take the exam fail it, so it's not but
that's like super rare. It's
right,
not.
super rare. But still, I think I would still feel really shitty. So
Yeah.
I don't want to experience that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I feel like it makes you a lot more stronger either way.
Yeah.
Not that if you pass, you're not strong, but like having through that feeling, I feel like it gives you some like, what's the word? Like, I can't think of the word. Humble. Like it humbles you.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. I mean, not that I'm right now, because right now I've told you,
Mm-hmm.
like I still don't pass it. So even when I passed the first one, my mom was really happy.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, I knew you could do it." I was like, "This is just the first one."
I know.
Um, I
But
did.
the first two that you took, as soon as you got out, you texted me. I failed. I'm
Yeah.
100% sure I failed, or like I'm so sure I failed. And with the first time, it wasn't that bad as the second test.
Right.
The first time you're like, oh, I didn't do good. Like I don't think I passed. And I was like, just wait and see for the results. It's okay. If it's meant to be, it will be. And then as soon as you get out from the second one, I feel like that second test hit you really hard. Because you were like, I failed it, I failed it, I failed it. You kept saying it more than the first time. And I was like, just wait for the results. You
Because
never know.
I didn't even want to start studying for the third one.
Right.
On the second one, I ran out of time. So the last couple questions, it was just, the best that I could,
The best guess.
the best guess,
Yeah.
yeah. So then that one, I was like, there's no chance I passed. And I barely passed, but I passed.
Right.
But yeah, the first one, it was just a lot of material. And this one, I think what's getting me is that a lot of remembering different percentages and different rules and stuff like that. But I'll get it done. Something that I could literally just Google in like 10 seconds. But
Right. Making it hard for you.
I know, yeah. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes, and I'll keep you guys posted and see.
Yes.
On the road to become a CPA.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I'll hang it. I'll hang it here. No, I was telling you we need like some lights here. I feel like this
Yeah.
spot is so empty. The
It is.
neon Explicate.
For real.
Well, there's a lion, but you guys can't see it. There's
like
portrait of-
10 lions in this room, you guys.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of lions, but yeah.
Yeah, we definitely do need something. Let's go ahead and start with our topic before this is a whole other episode of like an hour and 40 minutes. We've been trying to get our episodes, guys, within like 45 minutes or like an hour or an hour and 15. No, an hour and 15 is pushing it. But sometimes it's like an hour and 30 minutes. So I'm like, no, we gotta like...
Yeah, it's just like
Which
so...
I feel like editing it's not too bad. At least when I edit, I don't think it's too bad. It just takes me like about like an hour and a half.
Yeah, and then I just edit the audio for like another hour probably, but...
Because as you are revising it, you're editing the audio.
Editing the audio, yeah. And then just a couple clips here and there that you missed. But I remember the first one that we did, that one took me... I don't know. It was like 5-6 hours.
Probably.
It was something crazy, but we're getting better.
Yeah,
we're getting
that was
there.
a perfectionist in you because when I did it, I finished it like an hour and a half. So,
and I think that I like that more because I know if I do it, I'm gonna spend like all this time. That's just not worth it,
Right.
But
we're figuring it out.
Yep.
So you guys, for the topic for today, we have creating a life that you love. Okay, so I feel like this is really important. In life is loving what everything that's going on in your life. It's really, really important, and I feel like sometimes we don't see the value in that. So I want to talk about that.
Do you love your life?
I do. I feel like right now I'm at the stage where I'm actually like figuring myself out, and I know my mission in life, and I feel like a lot of us don't know our mission in life. I feel like I know that, and I'm starting to we'll go over the different things, because I feel like those different things that we're going to talk about are things that have helped me get to that point. How about you?
Yeah, I'm really happy with my life right now. I love it. I can finally say that, I'm happy where we're at, who we have around us, and just everything about us.
I know.
And yeah, I love it. Every morning I wake up and I just feel so blessed. It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling.
Yeah,
but
it is.
Was there a point in your life that you didn't love your life?
Yeah. And I feel like it was when I was going through like my depression, anxiety phase. I think I was probably the age of, I think between 17 till like maybe like 20. That's when I didn't like my life. That's when I was just not, I was going through so much and I didn't understand nothing of it until I started to go to therapy. But that helped me a lot because it was just so much that was unknown, that I did not know why I was feeling certain things or thinking certain things. And then it made sense.
How long did it take you after or starting to go to therapy for you to realize
What do you mean?
that like or you mentioned that that made you change,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like going or that helped you.
I think it was more taking the step of going
Okay.
that made me realize it. Therapy guided me through the fact that I acknowledged that I had a problem. Um, but even just thinking of going is a step, the biggest step.
Right.
You know, I just felt like I was getting myself like just under a hole where I had so much anger and me desquitaba with everybody. Um, and I feel like it wasn't fair for anybody, and it was starting to affect, my mom, my sister. I was just becoming too toxic. So I actually, before I got to even hurt more people, um, that's when I kind of clicked. I remember, I think somebody in my family told me that um, I am a, I am somebody that my nephews and nieces look up to, and that took it. That was like, shoot, you're right. Like they look up to me. Like I didn't in that moment they were like so little, but at those moments I was like, damn, they're looking up to me and I'm acting like this. So thank God I was able to get help and switch it around. And I looked for my therapist, which I miss her. She moved to Nashville and I don't even think she's a therapist anymore, but it's pretty sad. Um, but even with going through therapy, it helped me just figure out so many things, but mainly like loving myself because I feel like I did not love myself, even though I was taking maybe steps for it. I didn't have the guidance, or I did not know what it was. Um,
Yeah, it's tough. For me, I think it was more when I moved here, when I moved to the U.S. Because I mean, I had my parents and I had my brothers, but other than that, I didn't have anyone else.
mm-hmm.
So I didn't love my life at that point. I was just like, why are we here? And then winter came. I was like, this is horrible. Why did we even? And then so that first year, it was just tough at school because I went to this school that it was they offered that program for all the kids that it's their first year here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the bus would leave me like it wouldn't pick me up every other day, and my mom didn't drive, so then we had to like struggle for me to get to school, and it was pretty far, so it's not like, let me just call a taxi and we'll just go real quick, because then it would get pricey, and it was just horrible. It was a horrible experience that first year, but then once I started to go to school, I used to live in some apartments, and when I started to go to the same school as everyone else in those apartments, um, life started to get a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, I think I've had throughout my life, I've had a lot of like ups and downs of,
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling a certain way or whatever. But right now, thankfully, we're at that like really, really good
Yeah.
place. And hopefully, I've learned a few things that we'll talk about right now,
Mm-hmm.
but that I learned throughout the time that helped me a lot, with just learning to mainly love myself and just love life in general, because it's amazing.
Yeah. And it's crazy because there's a lot of people that also take their life for granted and don't think about that we're all just here temporary. We're not here forever. So
Right.
it's like if you have the option to make it good, why not do it?
Yeah.
Because I feel like so many bad things happen to all of us, and some people it might be worse experiences, but at the end of the day you have a choice. You have a choice either to go on the right or in the wrong path. um And, you know, it's sad for people that go on the wrong path and they just put their life to waste. But there
Yeah,
is a way.
I see it a lot with my grandma. Like I always think about my grandma,
Mm-hmm.
my dad's mom. She went through a lot. Like she went probably through horrible. I don't think she would wish that life, you know,
To anybody.
yeah, to anybody. But and she's still the nicest and the sweetest lady that
Mm-hmm.
you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
She's super sweet. She's so adorable and she's always happy. And you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's just amazing to see how, even though everything that she has gone through, she has still found a way to, you know, love life and just love everyone who's around her and show that love. And because she's the one who has shown me what, you know, well, my parents as well, but
Mm-hmm.
she showed me a lot how much she loved us and how much she would do for her family and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was, you know, it was just,
Yeah. It's, I know, it's crazy how she's just so sweet. And even though, I mean, I don't know 100% of her life, but little bit like stuff that you guys tell me that I'm like, damn. But
she
that's,
literally has like that Cinderella story.
she literally does.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think one of the main things that I want to talk to, or that I want to talk about, that has helped me a lot was to stop caring what other people said.
Mm-hmm.
That because I remember during high school I cared a lot about how other people saw me and what other people like thought about me. And I think even throughout college I still care about what, you know, someone else would say, like if they see me whatever
Mm-hmm.
wearing some old shoes or whatever it was,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But then there got to a point that I was just like, I really don't care. Like, you know, just I'll start doing whatever makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hang around like whoever, you know, brings that happiness to me. I'll just be doing whatever I want, and I need to stop listening or worrying about like what other people are saying about me or what others think about me. And you know, actually start living my life. And it's still hard because, well, I know you've mentioned that I am a people pleaser, but it's more of me like being helpful, not really of like, oh, I just want to be, you know, liked or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just me helping out or whatever, or I want to feel like I'm helping out.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I just don't care about what other people think or say about me.
Mm-hmm.
Or at this point, it's just like, you know, th- there's always going to be someone that's not gonna like something that you do or something that you have. And sadly, a lot of times it's because of jealousy. So they'll try to like put you down just because they don't have that, or they wish they had that, you know. Or yeah, just try to make you feel bad in general. And that's also, I realized that, and I was like, yeah, I need to stop caring about what they say about me, or you know, they think about me, because I'm not gonna please everyone. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there's always gonna be someone that's not rooting for me, and I'm never. There's a whole bunch of people in this earth. It's impossible to please everyone.
Yeah. I feel like that's something that I struggle a lot with in the beginning. I think it's because also like I was raised of like always being told like you gotta do this because what if this person is gonna think, or you know, qué va a decir esa tía, qué va a decir esa persona, o qué van a decir, you know, all of that. So I grew up with that, and I feel like it instilled in my head of what is other people gonna say. And especially with social anxiety, that's what it feels like. It feels like you're walking in a room and everybody's looking at you, and you're like, you just don't like, you're just thinking of what people are saying. Like, if you're looking awkward or anything like that. So that's one of the things that I've struggled with a lot. Um, But I feel like I got into the point now where, thank God, with my social anxiety, it's getting a lot more better. I'm able to manage it more. And I think I am at that point where I honestly don't care what anybody else thinks about my life, and especially us. And before, it was like, not that I was so critical, but I would think about that. Or like, let me not put this on my social media because what if this person is going to think? And it's still something that I'm working on. But I feel like I am way better.
Yeah, and I think we talked about it during, I forgot when it was, maybe like a year ago or so, but how I was also sometimes hesitant about putting things on social media because people would think that I'm bragging or, things like that. But no, I mean, one thing is that I like to put some stuff just to motivate maybe other people
Mm-hmm.
because I like to see, if someone got a car or whatever, I like to see or just be aware of that and just it motivates me or like
Mm-hmm.
oh
Or even be
or
happy
just
of
be
other
happy for
people.
them and just not competing or anything like
Mm-hmm.
that. It's just dude, you're doing amazing.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad that you're doing amazing and I'm glad everyone is doing something for themselves,
Right.
and not stuck somewhere.
Yeah. And I feel like that's the same way that I see, even though like on Facebook and stuff like that, I don't really post besides like my work Instagram. But on Facebook, where I have a lot more family and stuff, I don't really post. And it's not because I care. It's just that I don't really post that much. But when
Yeah.
I do, and I post that we're going on a trip or anything, it's not to give that bragging right of like, oh shoot, like, like I'm going here, I'm going there. No, it's more of like, it's so possible.
And it's something new for us every time, so
Yes.
it's not that again, yeah, maybe if we were there like 100 times or whatever, we're like, all right, we're not gonna
Yeah.
post it
And
anymore.
we don't
But
overshare either. Like we never posted that we got our house.
I think we did once.
No, we didn't.
Oh no, we didn't.
No.
We only took the pictures, and at that time, I didn't want to. That's when I felt the most that I was like, yeah, I don't want anyone to think that I'm bragging or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
because the realtor actually took pictures of us,
Mm-hmm.
and I was thinking about posting them, but then I was like, no, then people are gonna think like, I kept telling myself that I was
Mm-hmm.
like, people are gonna think that I'm bragging and all this stuff. And a lot of people didn't even know that we own a house until like a year, 2 years later, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that we got our house. Um,
Yeah. And it's just something that I feel like it wasn't necessarily to share. Like, and I wouldn't care to share it, but I don't really like to overshare. I feel like there's some things that, you can share, and there's some things that if you want to keep personal, you have the right to. And that's one of the things that we wanted to keep private, at least from my perspective. Like, I didn't mind people knowing. People were gonna find out. That's fine. Um, but I feel like this is our safe zone,
yeah.
and people are eventually gonna find of it. I mean,
Now I'm very open about it. I'm
yeah,
just like, if someone asks me, oh, how much it was or whatever, I'm like, dude, you're gonna find this online. So
yeah, and it's not that
why
I
like hide it? Like
care.
why hide it or anything like that?
Yeah,
Like it's not, it's normal, whatever. It's just, something that we did and we decided to keep not a secret because we told our family, of course, like our close family members, but we decided to just keep it like within our circle and not overshare. But yeah, I have a really tough time with oversharing because that's the ADHD in me.
yes, and
That
that's something that you do a lot
with like new people that I meet, I'll just overshare
with
real quick.
anybody.
And sometimes I do it because I feel very awkward. Like the conversation gets awkward, or I don't like that awkward silence sometimes, and I'll just be like, oh, let me just overshare something, and then I'll just go home and I'm like, shit, I overshare again.
Yeah,
I don't like to do it at work,
I
but
don't like awkward moments, but I don't overshare. I just can't. Now one thing with that I want to add on to what you were saying about what other people think. I feel like I am working on, and I feel like I'm getting way better, is not caring about other people's actions that don't involve me. So this is something that me and you have talked about, that if somebody is not doing something they're supposed to, or something that is common sense to us, something that we think is right, and they're doing, they're doing something wrong, that affecting us. Because I feel like that's one of the things that if somebody was like not on time, that would frustrate me. I just feel like if you tell somebody to be at a certain place at a certain time and they don't do it, I find that very disrespectful. But then again, I have to think that not everybody is like that, and be okay with the accepting that not everybody's like that, and then not everybody thinks like us, and not like letting it like frustrate me, get me mad, or get me, everybody's action is, if they think it's right, then it's right for them, even though, like, let's say we might see it wrong or I might see it wrong. At the end of the day, they have their own life and we have our own life.
Yeah, I mean, I would be lying if I told you, I'm 100% like that I have that fixed, but I don't. I still worry about, or not worry about, but I still pay a lot of attention to things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That if people are late or whatever, that is still, I still let it get to me.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I need to really, really work on just stop caring about other people's actions, and
Mm-hmm.
if I can control it, then just let it be.
Yeah.
But I have gotten good at, if I tell someone something like, hey, I don't like this about you or whatever, or what you're doing is not the right thing, or just letting, and if they keep doing it, just,
Yeah.
I did
Or
what I
even
could,
not getting involved.
or not getting involved.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I
which
feel
I
like
think a lot
sometimes
of times is like the best thing to do. Just
you
like,
do that a lot.
yeah, like, do
You
not get
do.
involved. Like, just stay out of it, and it's just like, it's their life,
Yeah.
like whatever they
And I
want to
feel like
do.
before it would affect me, because it's like I could see the effects of it later on. Like, I'm like that I could, like, okay, this person's acting like this ahorita. They're only causing this and this later on, years from now. Um, so I would see those things, and those are the things that would frustrate me, because it's like this is coming, and I already know it. Like, um,
But then that causes you to stress about the future as well.
exactly.
And it's not like it's gonna, maybe it might affect your life, but it's mainly gonna affect that person's life.
Yeah,
So why do you care, and why do you let it get to you? You might care more than
exactly,
they do. So
exactly.
stop worrying about it. Just
Mm-hmm.
like, don't stress it, and just
Yeah.
live your own life.
Mm-hmm. Like,
Just let
stressing for other people's life is, and it
it
was
gets
just
to
a
you.
habit. Yeah, it does, and I feel like now it's like sooner or later, you're gonna figure it out. You're gonna, maybe it's those people that que nomás a la mala
Aprenden.
aprenden.
Sí.
And you just have to see it from afar. And it's sad doing that, especially if it's somebody that it's like a loved one or a close friend. But sometimes that's the best thing to do, because then it's like, why get involved? Why put all your energy into that when it's like, it's just, it's their
And
life.
I guess sometimes it's nice to like give advice or whatever, but if you get like an advice from me, I think I would only say it like once, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Because one, I'm very impatient. So I'm like, yeah, I just told you once, so I'm not gonna. If you don't want to do it, whatever. Like, it's your
Yeah.
life. And I try to tell, well, not even just like younger cousins or anything, but I, whoever asks for advice or whatever, I'll try it and give it my best, but it's just, I'll just tell you once, and then if you keep fucking up, or then it's on you. It's, I tried. But for the most part, I just like to stay out of it and just do my own thing. Like, they'll do their own thing.
Yeah.
Right now, lately, we've had a lot of things going on, so it's kind of like, I don't have time for that. I really do not have time for that.
Yeah. And it's, it could be something that's very obvious, but it's like,
Obvious for us, but
it's none of our business,
yeah.
Allá ellos, type of thing. Something else is setting boundaries. And I feel like I've learned this within the past, I think the past year, you would say, right?
Yeah.
Mainly this past year, but more like these past few months. I believe setting boundaries with everybody in your life is very important. Even like me setting boundaries with you. Um, it's the same thing. You know, you have to set those boundaries, um, even with your family. Even though it might be the hardest thing to do, you have to do it because you have to take care of yourself too. Um, there's this TikTok that I saw that made me um, kind of like think about that a lot. And I wrote it down here. So I was taught that keeping quiet kept the peace until I realized whose peace is it keeping.
Hmm.
Deep, right?
That's very deep. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, you're always taught like, you know, don't say this or don't do that or, you know, stuff like that. But it's like you're being told for that person's peace. What
Right.
about yours? You know? So think about that with every boundary that you set. Think about your peace. Like, and it could be whatever, you know, it is with a friend that a friend is telling you, like, they're venting to you about all their complaints in their life. And you know for a fact they don't do nothing about it, but they keep telling you every single time and every single time and every single time. It's going to drain you. So I started to realize that, you know, if it's the same thing, you don't have to keep like listening to it or consuming it. You can walk away from it, you know. And that was one of my affirmations that I actually got on my phone was I am strong enough to walk away from what's it called, from confrontation. No, shoot, I forgot what it said, but it basically like you're able to walk away, like be strong enough to walk away and not get angry, you know, and not let it consume you. um and it's hard, you know, when it's somebody that's really close to you. But you have to do it. You have to think about yourself. And then especially once you are married, the way that I see it now is that, you know, I need to know who is kind of like worthy of my energy, you know. And I feel like when I am out of the house and somebody's taking away the energy, I come here and I'm drained, and it's not my husband's fault. So, you know, it's things like that that recently have made me realize that, and I've been able to walk away. And I might be the bad person in a lot of situations, but I'm taking care of myself.
But then that just goes back to the same thing. Like, you might be the bad person in a lot of people's story, but then who cares about what other people say?
Right.
And now that I think that's what has helped you now as well, that you just don't care about, you know, if that's what keeps you mentally healthy and what makes you happy, or not happy, but what makes you feel that you have done all you could, and that other person is still not, you know, listening or whatever, then it's on them. And
Yeah.
again, you might be the bad person for on other people's story for stop trying, or maybe they thought that you gave up, but they haven't seen everything that, you know, you've done for that person, or you know, whatever advice you have done or give before and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just set those boundaries and just not, you know, which it's still tough for me. Sometimes I feel like there's still some that I need to set, but slowly we'll get there for sure.
Yeah. And I feel like it starts with acknowledging them.
Yeah.
You know, acknowledging what the problem is and how is it making you feel. Because there's a lot of times where, you know, you could be put in a situation and it's in a very uncomfortable situation, or it's a very draining situation. No matter who it is, honestly, I feel like I'm at that point that if it's, you know, my parents, a brother, a sister, anybody, if you're not feeding that positive energy to me, I'm walking away. And it's not that I'm walking away forever. I'm walking away from that situation. You know, it's just taking a step back and being like, you know what? No, like I don't need to do this. I'm not okay with doing that, and it's totally fine. And I know there's a lot of people like, you know, in my family that know that and are okay with that. And for some, you know, it might be like, no, what are you doing? This is your family. Like, you're supposed to be there for your family, like, you know, all the time. But it's like, well, what happens when it's affecting me, you know?
Yeah.
And it could affect other people different. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that just because I feel this way, all my other siblings feel that way. No, you know, they might all feel different, and it's totally fine. You know, I totally understand. But I feel like once you get that sense of it, of setting those boundaries and being okay to walk away, you're a lot more happier.
Yeah.
You know, you just are, you're in control of your life.
Because once you start stressing about other people's life, that's again, that's gonna affect you mentally, and it's gonna ruin your life. Again, it might be family, so it might sound harsh, but
Mm-hmm.
still, you won't get to that point of loving your own life if you're worrying about someone else's life.
Yeah.
You know, if it's again, a lot of family members maybe do need help, and again, I would be there and try to help out. But as soon as I see that they're not even, you know, listening to me or just not taking my advice on what I'm telling them that I think might help, then I'll just walk away and just,
Mm-hmm.
you know, do my own thing. Because if they don't care about it enough, or if I care more than they care, then why do I stress about it?
Mm-hmm.
It hurts, but
Yeah. And that's the thing, that setting those boundaries hurts.
yeah.
Like, it's not something that I'm like, all right, I'm going to walk away from, you know, whoever it is, you know, my family. No, like, there's like a whole pain process of it. Or when I've talked to you about this, about how, like, what should I do? Should I stay and like get my energy sucked out of me and be so drained and be so angry and be so frustrated? Or should I walk away hurt, but then feel my energy still there, you know? And it's hard because, I mean, for you, it's like, you know, you're like, I don't know what to tell you because it's hard. Because, you know, you want to say walk away, but then it's like, what if that person is somebody really, really close to you? You know, so it's a very hard situation. But doing that is something that I feel like us as, you know, Mexicans or Latinos, are not taught. If you think about it, nobody has boundaries.
Mm-mm.
And it's so hard for people to have boundaries. And I feel like once they have it, it's like, oh shoot, like, you don't want to be with us, or you're acting like this, or you're acting like that. But it's like, you have to, because not having boundaries causes pain too, you know, cause so much hurt.
And they don't see it because, again, it's like that or that quote that you were saying, how you know, whose peacefulness are you like staying quiet for?
Right.
Because you're satisfying them. So at that point, they're happy. But what about you? What about your life?
Right.
So I think you need to be selfish.
You have
Um, and we were just talking about it last night, but I don't know. I think I'm starting to become a little bit more selfish. Again, not in a bad way, but just mentally and things like that. That I need to see for myself first, and for our family, for you and I, that is.
Yeah.
Um, but you know, just see for us first, and then worry about everyone else.
Yeah. And I feel like that's also something really hard in the beginning because, you know, you get married and it's hard from going from, you know, being there for your parents and, you know, willing to die for your parents. Then when you get married and you're like, this person comes first above anybody else in your whole family. When you get married, you're accepting that, you know, just like how it says in the Bible. Um, how to say it by word? I don't want to mess it up.
I don't remember right now.
You know, it basically
Well,
says that
it just pretty much
you
says
become
that
one.
yeah, I mean, you're leaving your parents to form a family with your spouse.
Yeah.
You know, and
And your spouse comes first.
yeah,
Obviously that comes in like a non-toxic way.
yeah,
Like, I won't be like, no, you choose me and it's always me. You're not gonna go with your family. No, it's not like that. But it's, you know, certain situations where you need to choose your spouse, you choose your spouse. If you're in the middle between, you know, choosing uh between a parent or my husband, you choose your husband. It's the circle of life. That's how it is. Same thing when we have kids. And as soon as we have kids, is accepting that that kid one day is going to leave us and form their family and no longer going to depend on us, and we don't come first. That's the same thing.
Yeah. You
Same.
still need to put your partner first, because everyone else is always going to leave in your life. So it's always, or you're going to leave them. Like we left our parents, and, we're leaving our brothers and sisters, or, and then our kids will, when they grow up, they'll leave us. So you always have to put each other, well, in my opinion, again, everyone has their own opinion, but you need to put your spouse first. And, in our case, you come first and I come first for you. But again, not in a toxic way. It's just that, it's not that,
like if it comes to a situation,
yeah,
like
and thankfully it has not come to that.
right.
Because my in-laws are amazing, and, well, I mean, I guess it would have to come from you, but in my opinion, my parents are amazing as well. They don't get involved in any of our like issues. Not that we have issues, but I don't think they've ever
like it's not issues involved in our marriage.
right.
Yeah, that's mainly it.
Yeah.
And I feel like other people might have that issue, but I think that I'm blessed with my suegros, that they're not like that at all.
Yeah,
And I
because
feel
you
like they
hear
always
all
give
like,
advice.
yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah.
I've heard some really bad stories about like the in-laws, how, la suegra le mete cosas a la hija, or
Enseñas.
yeah, cizañas, y ya después it creates problems. O sometimes it's the opposite way, al hijo en vez de la hija, y luego el hijo ya le agarra rencor a la mujer, and the mom does it because she's jealous of maybe that.
Yeah. Or if the
So I've
husband
seen
is
that.
mama's boy.
Yeah.
And it's
So I've seen that before, and it's just, I guess in this case, those are kind of like the situations that we're talking about. How you
Right.
need to always just choose your spouse if that's the person that you chose.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to see like why your parents, but then again, sometimes they might be right.
I think just listening and knowing your spouse.
Yeah.
And I think that's why also when you are thinking of getting married, besides that person becoming the mom or father of your kids, this is going to be somebody that's going to be with you for the rest of your life. So you have to think about how they are and how your family is, how their interaction is. If you see any problem coming up, anything like that, you choose a spouse that's having issues with your family. You're choosing that situation always, unless something changes. So you have to accept also, like, if you get married, let's say like us, right? And before we got married, I saw so many red flags of like you being like, "Ugh, your family this, your family that." Then I'm like, you're not that accepting of my family, so there's going to be issues. But if you go ahead and get married and you already have seen those red flags, don't be surprised when there's so many issues where you have to pick and choose.
You made it sound like I was saying that.
What do you mean?
Right now you said that you saw so many red flags in me.
No.
I was like,
It's
what?
an example, oiga. It's an example.
No, yeah, but definitely.
But like things like that are common sense that I feel like people don't get, and they get married and they're like, oh,
yeah,
then they're all surprised. But it's like, dude, you know those things. So you have to, también saber tu pareja and saber if your mom too. Like
right.
if you know that your mom is a specific way, she's picky or whatever, there's going to be issues.
Not just picky, but sometimes it's just like the moms are just something else, I guess, like the suegras, pues. Right. But yeah, thankfully, we haven't ran into that issue, and I don't think we will, because, again, my suegros and my parents are really good about just like staying out of our business, right, and not but at the same time they give us advice, not and we always take it. I always like to listen to their advice, because they've already gone through that. My parents are what they're coming up on 40 years of marriage in a couple years.
Oh, I'm like, this year 40. I'm like,
No,
damn.
not this year. They got married in 80, 85. So in a couple of years, it'll be 40 years.
Damn.
And then your parents have been married for like 45 years. So
Almost.
I
Yeah.
think it's really, we know who to listen to and just take that advice and not take it for granted. And
Mm-hmm.
just always, yeah, be grateful for the good and the bad as well.
Yeah. Which that's our next point that we wrote down for this topic is being grateful. When you're having a bad day, a bad month, a bad year, a bad, years in general, be grateful even in those, because there's always a blessing in every single thing that happens in your life. And I feel like once you see it that way, it will make things go a lot more easier. You'll go through hardships and be okay. Um, having that positive mindset helps a lot, and it helps you also attract that energy.
Yeah.
You know.
And if you're negative, then you'll attract that negative energy. So it's just, yeah, stay positive and just be grateful for everything. Like I said, I was mentioning earlier, every time I wake up, I just feel blessed. Blessed because I have a bed to stay on. Blessed because my heater or my AC is on. Blessed because, I have food on the table. I eat breakfast. I don't struggle. And just blessed because I can pick up the phone and call my parents, pick up my phone and call my brothers. And because everyone that I call, or if I was to call, which, I think earlier this year I had this goal that I wanted to start making more time to catch up with my cousins and stuff like that. And I have it's still, yeah, it's been rough to
But that was
get into
pre
that.
CPA though.
Oh yeah, that was pre CPA, but
Yeah.
because you still need to be grateful for the people who are in your life, and just, it would be nice to just call them up and just tell them, or just so they know that you're there for them when they need you, and just feel that connection, and just be grateful for everyone who's around you. And again, if something bad happens, also be grateful for that, because it might be a blessing in disguise. You never know.
Yeah. But that definitely will change your perspective
Yeah.
a lot, is thinking like that. And I feel like I think I have maybe like 2 years of that. But I definitely have, we've been witness of that, of putting positive out there and receiving positive back, and not doing the positive just to receive something. No, I feel like it comes from our heart.
Yes. I wanted to say that, and I forgot to write down, but just do things without expecting anything back. I think that's when something very important as well. Like, if you're gonna do it, just do it because it comes from your heart. Don't do it because you're expecting to get something in return. Um, it's just, it might be very disappointing if you are expecting something back and nothing, and they don't say or do anything, you know, to demonstrate that they appreciate what you were doing for them. So if you're gonna do it, again, just do it because it comes from your heart, not because, again, you want to seem to other people that you care, or that you're a nice person, whatever. Tú hazlo porque eso es lo que te hace feliz, y porque eso es lo que a lo mejor te motiva. Te motiva de que quieres ayudar a otras personas, o que you just want to, change someone's life. And again, don't expect anything back.
Yeah, and it's good once you do it from heart, because good does come back. I believe that we are blessed with what we have done, put out to the earth, and what we have received. I wouldn't necessarily say that we're we have a lot of money, or we have so many materialistic things. It's none of that.
No,
I feel like
it's health.
it's health. We have a roof over our head, things that we're blessed for. you have your job, I have our job, we both have our careers. Um, and it's all about seeing everything positive and hope that this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, I hope that one day we are, wealthier than we are right now. Who wouldn't want that? Um, like I do see myself, I visualize the life that I would want, the house that we would want, and all of that. Um, and it's, we're putting it out there, and I feel like, we'll definitely get there, si Dios.
I like that idea Joanna told you about, or who was it? That to go out and just look at houses and just manifest it. Yeah, so it's really nice to and we did that once, and it's nice to just go around and just see um you know, all right, like I want this. And again, it's not because we're not grateful for what we have. Like of course we're grateful, but it motivates you. Like it motivates me to like, you know, just keep working and not be because you could get to a spot that okay, now I have this and I have this and I have that, everything that I wish for. Now what? And you're kind of like stuck. I just keep doing whatever you were doing because that keeps you at that place that you always wanted. But it's nice to just go out there and be like, well, I got to this spot a lot earlier than I thought. Then that means that you can get even higher or, you know, more or whatever. And it's just, you know, first just being thankful for health, because then that's the most important. If you don't have health, then you can't get anything else done. Um, so enjoy your life and just enjoy ahorita que está saludable y que we have family and everything. Yeah, which again, it's for me, spending time with family brings a lot of energy to me. It's like my it's my reset. It's well, not just family, but I like to be around other people. That brings again, it feeds my energy. You know, there's times that I do just want to be laying down and stuff, but I feel que cuando hago eso, it drains me too. It just like it makes me feel, I don't know, like I'm not doing anything, and you know, I don't know. It's just weird, but I prefer to be just around people and just get their energy and just be hearing different stories or whatever, wherever it is.
I'm the opposite.
Yeah, which it's I don't know. I mean we are who we are, so we
And I
can't
feel
really.
like that's still because of my job too.
Yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes, with clients, we're very social, like all day. Like if I have, even one client, and if, you're being social, you're, keeping conversation and everything, it does drain you. And then especially when it's, really hard conversations, it's also, that takes up a lot. So I feel like that's why I'm not like that. I don't really feed off of like talking to people, like, how do I say it, like socially, as often. Sometimes I do. I think it depends with who. And I feel like this also comes with the last point that we were going to talk about this topic is surrounding yourself with positive. And I feel like surrounding yourself with positive people is a huge difference. And sometimes it's a small circle. It doesn't have to be a circle. Like I feel like I don't necessarily have a lot of friends. I don't. I've always had that since even like senior year. I only had one best friend coming out of my high school. And I, still keep up with her every now and then, but we're at two different moments in her life. She has two kids. She's, married, and she also has a business. And me, it's like I have a business, and then, I'm married. I don't have kids, but, it's just different spots. But I never been like a girl to have a lot of girlfriends.
Yeah.
I don't. And I had a lot of like guy friends. That's one of the things that it was
Red
much
flag,
more easier.
Red flag. Just kidding.
Side eye. Wow, you're sleeping on the sofa. Like I had a lot of guy friends, like, and it was chill conversations where I didn't have to worry about like jealousy. I didn't have to worry about like, that guy thinking that I was more than him or anything like that, because that's with girls is so competitive.
Yeah, and so you got me into blind Love is Blind this weekend. That's one of the things that I was doing this weekend. And I even told you when they would, because this is my first time that I watch Love is Blind. You're always watching it. Like, how many seasons are there?
I think it's a fifth or fourth.
If yeah, whatever it is, but this is my first time watching it, and I realized that they separate the guys with the girls, whatever. And the guys are a lot more chill. You can see it like in their room. They're just like, talking, whatever. And y luego con las girls, ahorita, well, I mean, we're past that now, but you can always see how they're like so competitive. Y si quieren al mismo, they're willing to just do whatever it takes. Whole competition, and it's all this jealousy and I'm better than you or whatever. It's just like that's not healthy. That's not, like they're fake. I feel like there's fakeness in guys too, but more in girls, yeah. Like for me, I love hanging out with, for example, the neighbors, and because we're always it's all positivity that they bring out and stuff like that, and there's always something new, at least one thing new that I learn whenever I'm hanging out with them, and it's just, again, it resets me, it brings the energy and stuff like that. But as a girl, I mean, I don't know how, or someone who has social anxiety, I can tell, or I could see how that would not be.
Yeah. I feel like I've always had issues with that, and it's just because I don't know. I just remember that when I was even in middle school and high school, I would always get told I have a bitch face. Literally.
Es que a veces sí estoy en serio.
So I can see why people would think that, but it's just me being like
Socially awkward.
Wow, putting on the spot. It's the social anxiety sometimes. Like sometimes I'm just like, this is too much. Like, now.
And at first I think it would not bother me, but I would always be like, are you not happy here? Like, what the heck? And we would just be, I don't know, out in public somewhere, and I was like, what the heck? Like, I'm having such a great time, y luego te miraba toda seria. I'm like, do you want to go home, or like, why are you like that? Yes, but I mean, little by little, like, we started like realizing, or
yeah, I just remember you telling me that, and that would make the situation like 100 times worse because now, besides me fighting myself, I had to be like, bruh, now he's mad. So now I'm thinking about him mad and not caring about like what the heck is going on. So that made it worse.
Yeah.
Rude.
Which, I mean, that again, it was still me, because we get our energy like way, way differently. We're literally like the opposite. But a mí, cuando estábamos haciendo eso, like cosas en público or whatever, like I would be happy and I would be all around, whatever. Y luego te miraba a ti, and then I was like, what the heck? Like, I'm having fun. Why are you not having fun? And I didn't understand that. And I guess I can still not understand that, how, because we're just different. But
yeah, and I feel like
I'm learning
with who
and still,
too.
yeah.
And I feel like sometimes like I read off of people's energy too much, and you can say it kind of turns me off to the point where I'm like, I don't want to be involved in this conversation, or I don't, like, I just don't want to have a conversation, or like if I feel uncomfortable with my social anxiety, I'm just like, I don't want to have a conversation. Or sometimes it's conversations that I have no involvement in, as in like I do not understand what's going on.
You gotta fake it until you make it.
No, like sometimes I'm trying to follow the conversation. I'm like, oh yeah, but then I'm like, I don't understand. Like I can't compare myself to it, or because I think one of the times that we went to somebody's house, and you were talking to, I think we were in a group, we were in a table, and everybody was talking about how when they lived in Mexico, they're like, oh yeah, like, when I lived in Mexico, we used to do this, íbamos a nadar a ese lugar, we used to do this, you used to do that, and out of everybody in the table, I was the only one that was born here, so I had no understanding of how it felt to live in Mexico. So I was like, okay, like I don't know what to say, like I don't know what to be like.
Good to contribute to the conversation.
Yes,
Yeah.
like at that point, like I start to get in my head, and I'm like, shoot, what do I say? What I say? I'm like, this is my time to say something. Like this is literally okay. I'm gonna tell you what exactly goes in my brain when you guys are having a conversation like this, or any type of conversation that it's like work related or anything like that. In my head, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna say this because this, the moment where I can say this, like, is perfect. I'm gonna say it, and then somebody else says something, and I'm like, oh shoot, I should have said it. Too late. I can't say it anymore. So now I'm gonna, keep paying attention to the conversation, and then, okay, this is my moment. I can, say something, and then no me sale, like I can't. And by the time that I want to say something, somebody else says something. That's literally in my head as we're sitting and having conversation. So imagine having a conversation and thinking or trying to get into a
That's
conversation.
so weird because for me it's just like I'll just say whatever.
Because you're so natural about it. You're so natural about it. It's just for you. It's like whatever. And for me, it's like no. Like especially if it's somebody that like like I don't necessarily know as much or I can't really like don't have much in common. Me pasa eso.
A mí me pasa mucho con like people who have that bossy, like not bossy, but ¿cómo se dice? Como that presence or
Maybe the strong presence.
Yeah.
I don't know.
De que I want to be not again. It comes back to my perfectionist or whatever, but I want to whatever or who if it's someone that I admire.
Somebody proper.
Someone proper or because I did not grow up proper at all. Y a veces es lo que me da at work or, when I meet certain people or whatever that, again, I don't try to think about their net worth or anything like that. Pero I know their net or, I have an idea of
that's literally what goes in my brain whenever I'm surrounded by accountants. Literally, like there's been occasions where I'm in a room with 30 accountants and I'm the only person that obviously does not have a degree, but is a hairstylist and knows all like kind of from what they make, from what you make. So I'm like, I'm nowhere at as proper as these people. So imagine how I feel. That's like a total awkward moment for me because I'm like, I don't know what to talk to you about. One, I don't like math, so don't talk to me about numbers. Don't talk to me about stuff because even when you tell me about kind of stuff, I'm like, yeah, but I'm lost. I'm just trying.
You always look so bored when I tell you about it.
It's not bored, but it's like it's like a whole other language. It's like if an accountant is talking to a lawyer. It's a total different conversation, as in like you involve a doctor or like me as a hairstylist. If I start talking my language as hairstylist to you, you're gonna be like, what?
No,
and as a hairstylist
terms.
And then with you it's like I don't know those terms, how do we get off track?
I don't know. I always do this, but yeah. So I mean, just surround yourself with positive people, and just whoever brings that positivity to your life, and just try to stay away from negative people. And if they are being negative, and if you're comfortable with that person, let them know. I know you've told me a few times, like, hey, you're being negative right now. You're bringing such like negative vibes.
If it's somebody that you feel comfortable telling them, like if somebody that is okay with hearing it.
Right, with hearing it. Some people might not take it well, but
right, you can't just tell somebody.
Right, but I like it because I mean, most of the time, both of us are very positive and just like try to go on with our life and just try to forget all the negatives or not forget them, but also be grateful for them. But there are times that, again, they just get to me or they just get to my head and I'm just like, I agree with you. But again, it's just changing that, just a switch, just flip it and just, go back to your positive mindset and take whatever is coming your way.
Yeah. I feel like it definitely, that's one of the things that has helped me get through a lot of situations. And it just changes your life having a positive mindset about everything. I feel like
Sí.
you're just a lot more
You get more things done too.
yeah.
Porque si eso es negativo y todo, you might start, or sorry, you might start thinking about like, why am I doing this? You know, no le encuentras motivo a la vida. Y yeah, si eres, if you're positive, then
Yeah.
you'll find that motive to live, and you know,
The motivation to keep going
yeah,
forward. And
and just
sometimes it's
push.
hard because sometimes you might think that everything is against you. Um everybody's against you, but sometimes it's just you that you're against yourself. You just
Sí.
need to push forward.
Yeah, just keep going.
Yeah, keep going, keep pushing forward. You know, sometimes you might not know the answers now, but you know, I feel like you're always put in a spot, in a situation, in a place for one specific reason, either if it's good or bad. Um, just go with the flow of things and take the best of your opportunities. You know what's actually something really nice about that? One of my coworkers sent a really beautiful message this morning. Um, she sent a message to us this morning that she woke up in the middle of the night being so grateful of us and being so grateful of, you know, meaning the team hairstylists that work at the salon. We're 6 girls, and thank God, I think this has been the most positive, like, friend group I've ever had. To be
Yeah.
honest, like a group, not individual, a
No, a
group.
whole group.
Because it
Yesterday that I
takes
was with you, and when I was with them, you can feel it.
yeah.
Me gusta todo. Me gusta. You you cannot tell that anyone is jealous. You cannot tell that anyone is you know um presumida or anything like that. Like you can feel the positivity in that group. Y todos. I like how close you guys are, or you girls are,
Yeah.
but you can feel it in the room, and it's really nice to have that.
Yeah, and I'm super blessed for that, but you know, this is the closest I've been to a friend group. And I feel like that's something that I've always wanted with a group of my coworkers. I
Yeah.
wanted us to be coworkers and also be friends, and super blessed of that. But she sent that message. You know, she's like, "Yeah, I woke up in the madrugada and I was thinking about you guys. So blessed of have you guys in my life for whatever reason it is, and for you guys being the way that you guys are." Um, and it's like that's the way that we should see things. You know, they're meant to be put in my life for one reason, to feed into me, to give me that energy that I need right now for, you know, growing my business, because it's not easy.
Yeah.
You know, there's times where, you know, it's scary. It's like scary to keep wanting to, like, you know, move forward or anything like that. But you know, it's something that, you know, it's hard.
Yeah. So just in conclusion,
Yeah,
stop caring what other people say about you,
for real.
and just do your own thing. Do whatever makes you happy, and
Yeah.
you know, just stay positive and just be grateful, and just think about something that you're grateful for right now.
Yeah.
And,
Whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is, and just say it out loud.
I was gonna say that you're weird.
Just say it out loud, so you can actually put it out there to the world, not just
Yeah.
stay with you. You know, just say it out loud. If you're in a room by yourself and you want to say it out loud, just do it right now.
Yeah.
I think it helps a lot.
Yeah. Do that, and then, you know, start taking those steps, you know, that we talked about, and see the difference. And if you find any other steps, definitely, you know,
Let us know.
yeah, let us know, and start doing them, because I feel like it's really hard as us as Mexicans to be doing those things. And I feel like once you find that key to do it, it makes like everything a lot more easier. You find true happiness, which that's a lot of people that live their whole life without feeling
Yeah.
the true happiness. Either, you know, they didn't get married with somebody that they knew, or that they loved, or they put themselves in a situation that's not, you know, what they wanted.
Or they let people, like what other people said, get to them, y por eso no hicieron algo que de verdad lo iban a hacer feliz.
Yes. Yes, and that's the like it's so sad, and so let's keep moving forward, us as Latinos,
Yeah.
and
And just let us know if there's something that we didn't mention y que les ha ayudado a ustedes. Let us know what
yeah,
that is.
yeah, and
I'm getting
share
all this
this.
like stuff all over me, so
It's
you
because
guys
you
might
keep
see the
pulling it.
fuss
That's
all over
why I'm
me.
seeing you. You keep pulling it. There's some all over your sweater. um I forgot what I was gonna say before you interrupted
Oh,
me.
to share this.
Rude. To share this with anybody that you think that needs to hear this.
Yeah.
Definitely share it. Sometimes our words might go further than we expect. You know, I was in another podcast really quick. I was in another podcast that I was a guest in another podcast that got some feedback that I was not expecting, where people, related to my story of social anxiety and made them emotional and, saw me in a different way. So that's also one reason why I wanted to do this too, that we can help other people um, understand this and share, start doing all of the steps, doing all the things that, we were not taught by our parents. But
Right.
Start doing those things, and hopefully this episode help you guys. And even this podcast, like, we want to do a lot more videos like this where we talk about,
Like share what our experiences, what we
yes,
have gone through.
yes,
So yeah, definitely let us know if you guys want to hear about something, in a specific, and if we have experienced it, how we have dealt with that. But yeah, I mean, I think that was for today's topic. I'll just do a quick financial misconception, and then we'll wrap it up because it's getting late, and I still have to go back to work. So just something really quick: a financial misconception that you need to be rich to start investing. Um, Not at all. And now it has become a lot easier to start investing and to get into the market, and again, not official financial advice, but you you should look into what your retirement plans are and start investing now that you're young, because that's when your money will grow the most. And just with like apps like Robinhood, that they don't charge you any fees to trade or buy any stock. Personally, we invest into ETFs, which are just index funds, and just those index funds, they just follow the market. So we don't even pick out individual stocks. Just here and there, we have a couple, but not mainly. I'm investing, or for long term, so for when we retire, and start taking advantage of those IRAs, so Roth IRAs, traditional IRAs, their tax benefits and everything. But maybe that's something that I'll talk about during another episode. That if you guys are interested, just let me know. But yeah, I mean, that's today's advice, or not advice, financial misconception that you need to be wealthy to start investing. I wish I did start investing earlier. I remember when I got out of high school, they would charge me like $7.99 to buy stock, and then another $7.99 to sell it. So that kind of turned me away from investing at a younger age. But then Robinhood came out, and all these other apps now are doing the same thing about how you can trade for free. So yeah,
facts.
if you have extra money and just don't know what to do with it, instead of spending it at Starbucks,
For real.
go put $5 in a stock that you think might do well, or just do some research. I mean,
Yep. Just be smart
everything
with your
is
money.
yeah, everything is in Google now. So
Yes. Quick affirmation. This one is actually really touching the topic that we just did. I am making the rest of my life the best of my life. Wait, what? I'm making the rest of my life the best of my life. That
facts.
sounded like I just repeated it, but it's just exactly to the topic that we just talked about.
Oh, I like this one. Instead of holding on to what I could have done, I am taking action to do what I can do now.
Yo, test.
That's my test.
There you go.
All
That's
right,
speaking
guys.
to you. Don't forget to challenge yourself today, you guys. Anything you want to do. But
Once again, just say it out loud what you're grateful for today.
yes, even if it's something small, something big, a person next to you.
And if you want to share it with us, go ahead.
For real, comments.
Yeah, comments.
Comment what you're grateful for.
Don't forget to share, comment, like,
And subscribe. Like you remembered. All right.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and hopefully you made it all the way to the end.
Mm-hmm.
If you did, we're very, 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 very
You okay?
appreciative. No, ya me quiero dormir. Pero tengo que trabajar.
We have to go for the truck later.
All right, guys. Have a good night. See ya. Bye.
Bye.